Well, 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 was I freaking wrong? What's up, everybody? Hope everyone's having a wonderful Monday, September 21st, 2020. What's going on? It's Mike from the Comic Bookies podcast coming at you live with some more Batcave Minutes. Well, how I was wrong is I've always been more of the realist, more of the, pessimistic Raider fan, so to speak. So, just my experience from the night, I almost cried once. I yelled and screamed a few times, and then I yelled and screamed in a negative way and then in a positive way. So it was, cool to see the new stadium, all the bells and whistles. It's going to be friggin' awesome when, probably myself and my family and friends get to go and visit it and go to a game. But, that tribute from Tim Brown, pretty much saying, you took our team, so have fun. Just all the mystique, all of the history that has been the Oakland Raiders. It brought back a lot of memories, a lot of good times going to games and stuff with my dad, with my brother, and then with my friends over the last couple of years. And, almost brought me to tears. So, but it was a good game, and I was surprised and I was wrong because I thought that the Saints would have covered the 6. The line got all the way down to 4, and they obviously covered the 4 because the Raiders won by 10 friggin' points. I had no thought in my mind that was going to happen. I thought Drew Brees and the Saints, even without Michael Thomas, was going to come in and beat our ass. But, it didn't happen. So the Raiders go to 2-0. Our other hometown team, the 49ers, they win in New York. But I think they lost a lot more than they won. They won the game. They're 1-1. They finally get that first win of the season. They actually stay out here, I believe, in West Virginia, and then have to go back to MetLife Stadium this weekend. But, man, did they lose a whole hell of a lot. And that's what brings me to the bulk of what I wanted to talk about just real quick with you guys on the YouTube channel is just all the injuries. And I believe, it's bad luck. It's the bad turf and everything because MetLife Stadium, I guess, I don't know, it's just not good turf. There have been complaints about it. But, you have Joey Bosa, you have Raheem Mostert, who's most likely out. I think most likely out this weekend. Joey Bosa and Solomon Thomas both tear their ACL. Jimmy Garoppolo will play this weekend, or they're hoping he'll play with another knee issue as well. But Saquon Barkley tore his ACL. Christian McCaffrey, he's out 4 to 6 weeks. Cortland Sutton, he's out for the year, torn ACL. It was a labrum or something like that, like a shoulder injury for Drew Lock. Just tons of players going down. And I was fortunate enough, that being a Raider fan, not too many people were out. Michael Thomas, as I said before, was already out, and I think Hunter Renfrow left the game for a few plays because it looked like he slammed the hell out of his head on the grass. But man, I just can't help but think of COVID and what it did to the OTAs and to the training camp and any kind of contact with other teammates, and then when you have preseason games and then other scrimmages, because sometimes like the Rams or the Chargers and the Cowboys, because the Cowboys practice down in Irvine because it's too hot. It's like the surface of the sun in Texas in the summertime. So they come over to SoCal and have their training camp. So sometimes they have those kind of scrimmage games as well. So you have all the stuff that you don't have. You have no game, you're not game ready really. And so all these soft tissue injuries, we talked about this last week, hoping that it wouldn't happen, and sure enough, look what happens in week 2. I know that me, Mark, and Sean are going to talk more about that in episode 80. Huge landmark issue, by the way. Go check us out on iTunes, Spotify, and Google Play. But yeah, it's just gonna be crazy. It's not fun to. It's cool. Let me put it this way, obviously, you have those rival teams. So if you're a Seahawks fan, you're kind of glad about what happened to the 49ers because you're fighting for a division with them. But you never really want to see that happen to any kind of player because that's their livelihood. You don't want their career to end. They're the cream of the crop, the best athletes in the world when it comes to football. They're overpaid, but as far as earning that money, man, they can't do that anymore this season. And with how Joey Bosa was already hurt in college, is he flagged as injury prone now? Is he going to have to be careful going forward? Who knows? So the 49ers, like I said, they play the Giants again back at MetLife Stadium, so hopefully they can stay, healthy and stay safe while putting a pounding to Mr. Jones and the Giants. The Raiders, they travel to Gillette Stadium in Foxborough and play the New England Patriots, who lost on an amazing game, amazing Sunday Night Football game between them and the Seahawks. So that was a really good game. But yeah, that's pretty much it for the sports side. Oh, never mind. Duh. It being Monday, September 21st, don't know when everyone's going to be watching this, but the A's are officially AL West champions. So for all you A's fans out there, you didn't win. I don't even know if they've even played, but the Houston Astros lost, and their magic number was 1. So since 2013, first division title, congratulations, boys. You finally are division champs. I just remember going to all those games when I used to have partial season tickets with Mark, with my brother. We were going to all those, couple playoff games against the Tigers, against frickin' Verlander, but it was the time of our lives. It was the best times going to actual live sports. I've been to a couple hockey playoff games. I've been to a bunch of Raider games, but man, those A's games during the playoffs when we were playing against Detroit and Verlander, man, like nothing really got much better than that. So, and a few quick hitters on the comic book side. We're not the Comic Bookies podcast if we don't collide the worlds of sports and comics. We've been getting a lot more books lately, let's be honest. With this sponsorship from Treasure Island Comics in Fremont, California, we've been able to get more of the indie comic issues, and I really want to just nail into your guys' head that AWA is amazing. Mark was the first one really to jump on it. He got us into it, and I'm pretty sure he is subscribed to every single story they have out now, which is, I want to say 7 or 8. It's pretty crazy. But I'm telling you, issue 5 of 6, Resistance, like this book is amazing. There was it was crazy because we read issue 1 like right during the beginning of COVID-19. So there's like a pandemic. It takes out like hundreds of millions of people, like way more than coronavirus ever is going to do. And then some of the survivors are starting to get powers. And then obviously there's some, government pushback, and then they kind of, they put together a resistance. And it just this issue is cool because it goes country to country, and it goes to these little, 2 people here are helping save these 2 guys from abducting this little girl, or this guy's being detained. He is a prisoner of war, and all of a sudden he looks like he's freaking, the Human Torch, just escaping. There's a lot of cool stuff in this issue. And finally, there's a huge uprising in one of these countries, and look at this. I just want to show you this one page. It looks freaking amazing. It looks like a scene out of X-Men. They're all fighting. It's really cool. So I don't foresee this being the end of it. I mean, there's one more issue 6 of 6, but man, this Resistance, they're just setting up a whole new universe. I don't even know any of the names of the even heroes, or if they're even going to do that, but I hope there's a kind of part 2 after this part 1. And finally, the other one I wanted to show you was off of DC Black Label. I mentioned it just a quick second because I picked it up. It was the Hellblazer Rise and Fall. I think last video here on YouTube, I definitely previewed that. But this one's really cool. I like these ones, this pristine kind of style ones. You have to get a special bag and board, but oh well. But it's like pretty much the story of, how John Constantine was born. His mother died during childbirth, and pretty much he was being blamed for being a murderer since day one. His dad's an asshole, just calling him names all the time. So when he's a little kid, he starts to get into witchcraft. He has 2 friends. There's a big flood, a storm happens, and one of his friends drowns and dies. And then fast forward, there's some weird murders going on. There is a guy who's he's impaled on a cross on the top of a church, and he's got wings attached to him. And then finally, at the very end of the story, kind of one of the, protagonists of the story, kind of with John, he ends up getting murdered. I'm not going to tell you who it is, but it's the little boy from John's childhood. He comes back to life, and I want to go ahead and show you just the creepy picture. It's, it's right here. It's really, really freaky. So if you're into horror, but you also want a story with one of your favorite DC characters, John Constantine, it's a really awesome story. So that's it for me. This has been another issue of Batcave Minutes. I hope you have been enjoying the last couple episodes, so please like this video and subscribe to the channel. Mark and Shauna are putting videos out as we speak. Pretty soon they're going to be talking about gambling, comics, sports, everything that I've been talking about just from their point of view. So we're recording episode 80 on Wednesday. Stay tuned. We have a couple interviews with some really cool guests that we've already had in the past. They're announcing some new projects. So yeah. And like I say all the time, enjoy the sports, enjoy the comics, and enjoy each other. Peace out. See you in episode number 80.